Old phrases we still use today and where they originated from. In the 18th century, hat makers used a toxic substance to create the felt used to make the hats. This substance would cause mood swings, loss of coordination, memory loss, and even paranoia, hence the saying, "mad as a hatter." During times when football was on the radio before televisions were a thing, the pitch was divided up so it could be followed easier by the listener. If the ball was back in the goalkeeper's box, you would hear, "back to square one." In the 1920s, if you attended a carnival and played a game to win a prize as an adult, you would try to aim for the top prize, which was a cigar. But if you did not get to this prize, you quite literally got close but no cigar. Back when newspapers were written with typewriters, each letter was called a sort, and when you run out of letter type, you quite literally run out of sorts. Back when pirates roamed the seas, they quite often got very drunk on board and would go beneath deck to rest if they felt ill. When they did this, they were under the weather. In ancient India, it was a religious act to throw butterballs at the statues of their gods to seek favor and forgiveness, hence the saying, "butter someone up." During the 1800s, circuses became very popular, and before setting up, they would parade around the town on their bandwagons. Politicians would rent them to talk to voters while passing by. They were quite literally jumping on the bandwagon. Back when road transportation was not developed and ships were the only way of trade, at times ships would struggle during winter due to all of the ice in the water. So the country in which the boat was heading would send small ships out to break the ice as a good gesture and understanding between the two nations. In the 1800s, a man led a group of friends on a night of drinking through the English town of Melton Mowbray. This drunken bender ended in vandalism across the town after the man and his friends went around breaking windows and painting several homes, a toll gate, and a statue in red paint. Hence the saying, "paint the town red." During the 18th century, rich people were scared of mistakenly being buried alive at their funeral. So the rich paid for tombs above ground for their bodies to lie in. But as their bodies decomposed, a vile stench was wafted across the graveyard. Hence the saying, "stinking rich." In the late 1600s in England and Wales, window tax was introduced by King William III. Obviously, people were not happy with this, so from then on it was considered daylight robbery. In the 17th century in England, pubs and taverns would sometimes get a bit rowdy with everyone drinking, so if this happened, the owner of the pub or tavern would shout, "Mind your P's and Q's," meaning mind your pints and quarts. In the 18th and 19th centuries, mattresses were held on bed frames using a woven rope design which regularly needed tightening, hence the saying, "sleep tight." During the 1800s, people were often buried alive, so due to this, all coffins were fitted with string attached to a bell that could be rung if whoever was buried was not actually dead, so these people were quite literally saved by the bell. During the 18th century, under common law, a man could legally punish his partner with force using a stick, but the stick must be no thicker than his thumb, hence the saying, "rule of thumb." In the Old West, they used bits of currency with 8 bits totaling $1, and throughout time a little bit became known as a small amount. During the 19th century in England, families who were poor used to sell their urine as it was used to tan animal skin, so families who did this to survive were considered piss poor. During the time of Shakespeare, in his plays a boy would stand with a box to take coins. Once the box got heavy, the boy would switch with an empty box in a little room. This was called the box office. During the Great War, the Vickers machine gun had a 9-yard-long magazine belt. So soldiers would say, "give them the whole 9 yards," meaning use the entire magazine on the enemy. In the 1800s, hunting with packs of dogs became very popular. As the dogs ran after the prey, sometimes they would find themselves barking up into trees where raccoons, squirrels, and all the other animals ran to hide. While doing this, they were quite literally barking up the wrong tree. During the 17th century, Native Americans would bury their weapons to mark a peace agreement. So by doing this, we're burying the hatchet. In ancient Greece, decisions were made by placing either a white or black bean into a vase, depending on whether they meant yes or no, and to spill the beans meant to reveal the results. During the Wild West era, carriage drivers would often bring someone along to sit next to them as security, and they usually carried a shotgun. Hence the reason why we call shotgun when we want to sit in the passenger seat of a vehicle. Also in the Wild West era, when a man was low on cash, he would offer the bartender a bullet in exchange for a small drink, which was usually whiskey, so this became known as a shot of whiskey. In medieval times, it was widely believed that a full moon could cause strange behaviors in individuals. So when a person's behavior changed during a full moon, they were considered a lunatic, which originated from the Latin word for moon, which is luna. In the 1500s, it was popular for people to sell piglets at the market in little bags. Sometimes the sellers would replace the piglet with a less valuable cat, but often shoppers would ask to see inside the bag before buying, to make sure it was not a scam. And if it was, they quite literally let the cat out the bag. In the 19th century, public sports such as boxing or racing were often started by someone dropping a hat. This required participants to be ready, which later led to the phrase, "at the drop of a hat."
But wait, if you're a history lover, like and subscribe.